All right. I think I got it. I don't know what that was about. I can't sort myself out. It was YouTube's fault. Internet's good. It was just YouTube's. But we are back in the original live stream. We got it. Yeah, we got it. Still 8 of you in here. Appreciate you being patient with me. Hey, P Tag, good to see you. Let's get the groove on, Jesse. Good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate you being here. Hey, Cecil, good to see you. There's USA. USA. US. Got an interesting story to talk about with you guys today. I kind of peed off a larger YouTube channel. Peplin, good to see you, buddy. Tara, good morning. Good morning. Hey, Rose. Hey, Scotty. Jim's Fish. Hey, Jeff. We're all more gooder now. Everything's more gooder. Just let me know if the audio and visual looks good to you guys. Hey, Jesse, thanks for the help yesterday on my spell. Oh, yeah. I saw that. Hey, Roy Baker, good to see you. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. Swiffle. Yeah, I saw that. And it was fun to type, Scotty, because I had to say, hey, you spelled title wrong in your title. Can you fix the title? It happened. Sometimes your phone changes it by itself and you don't know it happened. Been there. I tell you what, Scotty's been putting out a lot of content lately. So kudos to you, sir. That's putting in a lot of work, sharing the hobby, having fun doing it. Hey, Jose, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, I hope you laugh. I didn't know. Sometimes I say things and I feel like I'm going to make people mad. And other times, but as the older I get, the less I worry about it. It's all in fun. If anybody knows me, as Mad Mex will say, if anybody knows me for a second, I like to joke. I like to have fun, which bleeds into the fact that I pissed off John at KG Tropicals on his second channel, The Money Pit. I thought he had tougher skin than that. Anybody knows John from KG Tropicals, he won't shy away from having fun and making fun of people, making fun of things, but I've come to find out he can dish it out but not take it. It was over tools. Because on his Money Pit channel, he's fixing his house up, so things like that. But I don't have nothing bad to say about the man. I've always liked him. Maybe I got him on a bad day or something. I don't know. Just a lot of people was like that. Yeah, I unsubscribed from the Money Pit channel after that. I talked to Mad Max about it, and Whip, they know all about it, and Tommy. Because I also know that KG, John over at KG Tropicals, he'll be the one to put content out about it. So I just wanted to make sure people knew I wasn't being disrespectful to his wife. He thought I was being disrespectful to his wife. It's stupid. We're grown men talking about tools. You guys know me. I like to joke around. A lot of us have been watching KG for a long time. If the man actually would come into some of his viewers' channels and get to know them a little better, he would have known that I am a lot like him, where I like to joke around. And but he must have taken me a little bit too serious or something. And I just caught the tail end of his live stream. In the thumbnail of the live stream, he had a set of tools on his island. And in my experience, I've been working with tools for 25 years in the electrical, mechanical, and maintenance field. And I think I have a good idea of what tools are good or not. And when he had a set of Husky tools sitting there, and I was jokingly around, I came in and said, well, there's your problem right there. You've got a set of Husky tools in a thumbnail sitting on the island. And he was joking around with me and having fun. Oh, how dare you? That's not Husky, is it? He's like, is that in the thumbnail? And he looked back. He was cool about it. And it turned out it wasn't Husky. It was, can't remember the brand name he said, but just joking around. I have all the tools. I have Craftsman. I've got Husky. I've got Gear Wrench. I've got DeWalt. I've got Milwaukee. You've named it. 25 years of using tools. I've used them all. I've used Snap-on. I used Mac. Well, anyways, we started going back and forth a little bit. And he goes, I told him, I've been working with tools for 25 years. And my personal favorite right now is Gear Wrench. I love Gear Wrench tools. You can get them for a decent price. They last forever. Gear Wrench is most of the tools that I carry in DeWalt. Through many years of experience, the Craftsman is just not the tools they used to be anymore. Their ratchets have always sucked. They always fail. Their wrenches are okay, but I have seen a dramatic decline in Craftsman's tools over the years. And I've talked to people about it. They agree with me. I don't know what you guys thought. But if you work for a living and you use tools every day, you need a tool that's going to do a little bit better than the average tool. He goes, oh, well, if you want the Mac and Snap-on, that's on you. Those are overpriced. And I agree with them. I mean, they're not overpriced for what you get when you buy Mac and Snap-on tools. You are getting a high-quality tool. But I am in no position to spend $250 on one single set of wrenches, and I 100% agree with them. You don't need them. Gear Wrench, very good tool. I've got the Cobalt. It was Stanley, he said. I've got Stanley wrenches. I've got Stanley ratchets. Use them all. You get the idea. Joking around, two men joking around about tools, going back and forth. No big deal. Well, and this was a big misunderstanding, too. So I say to him, after he said that was a Stanley set of tools in a thumbnail, he then went to turn around. He goes, I got these as a gift, but I was already typing. Stanley, I already said Stanley's no good, and I was typing in crafts. He showed the Craftsman tools, and I had Lisa had bought him a Craftsman tool set for his birthday. Awesome. I've gotten tools like that for my birthday. Shows it. I said, well, that's even worse. Not long after that, the live stream ended. How dare you? He was joking around, but I was hanging around in the chat after the stream had ended a little bit because there was another guy in there responding to me, laughing at what I was saying, having a good time. He comes in and says, oh, in the chat room back in his own live stream, oh, so you're sailing aquatic. You're gonna sit around and be a troll now. I went, yeah, haha. I just learned what the word troll means maybe 2 years ago. And we were going back. Well, as we were talking, I could tell he was actually bad. And I'm sitting here trying to, is he really getting mad? I know in John from KG Tropicals, and my experience with him in the last 2.5, 3 years, he's a jokester. He likes to have fun. He has tough skin. Well, I made him mad because I called the Craftsman tools no good. And it was disrespectful to his wife because his wife gave them to him as a gift. And that's what made him mad. I said, I was just trying to have fun. He says, disrespect's not fun. I said literally to him, John, I apologize. I didn't mean to offend you. I thought you had tougher skin than that in my experiences with you than 2.5, 3 years. And then he went into, now I'm judging his character or something. And then it ended and we left. But I'm saying to myself, I don't understand how two men can't talk about and joke around tools and not understand it. I don't know. I've been hearing he's getting a lot more sensitive lately or something. I don't know. I ain't talking bad about the guy, but I was really put off by that. I've been watching this guy for 3 years. I've liked his style. I've always liked his humor. Yeah, and that's what I kind of figured. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up, it's not for drama. I called some other people just to let them know, look, if this turns into something, I want people to know my side of the story. I don't lose sleep over it. The last time I think about that man is the last time I see him on a live stream. But I like him. I like what he does for the hobby. And always liked his humor. But after that, I'm just really turned off. I unsubscribed to the Money Pit and unsubscribed to KG Tropicals. So he wants to be that way. So that was the newest thing that happened to me. Am I right or wrong? You know? I talked to Whip about it and things. I'm not going to. It's not about drama. Let me get caught up on chat. Here we go. Roy Baker made a live stream. Okay. When's that going to be, Roy? You were laughing. I got that. Let me get caught up. Jeff came in. Good to see you, buddy. P-Tag don't watch KG anymore. Same here, Joe. I haven't watched him in a while. Says Ryzen. Peplin don't watch KG. He hasn't in years. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people who met John in person has a bad experience, but a negative Amazon. Yeah, and I've been hearing that too. A lot of people say he's not very pleasant person. His wife seems to be a nice person. He's a little. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that, Jeff. And you got blue buckets. Yeah, I got blue buckets. Craftsman died when Sears died. Oh, that's there's never been a truer statement right there, Pep. Yeah, absolutely. You can take your broken Craftsman tools to Lowe's, or they'll place them on the spot. Yeah, and what is it? I believe Craftsman bought Cobalt, and that's another thing. He was getting nitpicky. I was talking about Cobalt tools in there. Of course, my phone changed it to Cobalt with a C, like the metal. I had it K, and he's like, "Oh, you didn't even spell it right. You didn't even spell it right." Like, just getting like nitpicky about it, like childish. John was on his period. Tara says, "Now he's a good dude. I ain't nothing bad to say about him. But after that experience, not all personalities mesh well. But see, him and I, Jeff, his and I personalities are very similar. I don't watch them no more." Jim Fish says, "Whip's coming in. Good to see you, but sorry to hear you're suffering with the blue." Suffering with the blue beast. Oh, come on, Jeff. Now, come on, man. I'm not suffering. You're suffering. I got the blue buckets, not the blue balls. North says, "I cannot imagine you getting along with someone." Yeah, I've never had that problem. I mean, even as growing up in high school, you had the people you didn't get along with, but I was the class clown. I've always got along with everybody. I was never the butthole in school. I was friends with the popular kids, and I was friends with the kids that people made fun of or wasn't so popular. I liked them all and got along with them all. And I've never been that way. I was always that guy. You know, I'm not one like I feel like I'm above everybody else. That has never been me. I am not an arrogant person. I have no reason to be arrogant. I even if I had a lot of money or if I was a celebrity, I know in my heart that I wouldn't be that way, and I would help a lot of people. You know, if I was rich, everyone in this room that constantly comes sees me and supports my channel, I'd pay every one of your houses off. That'd be the kind of guy I am. All right, Roy. Well, let's look Roy up. Can somebody share Roy Baker's channel? He said he did a live. I want to get subbed to this. I want to get subbed to Roy. I don't think I can. Well, maybe I can. No, I can't. Well, get rich. I need my house paid off. I'm working on it, Whip. Anyhow, that was my fish fam drama for the week. Okay, I wonder if I can go to that. I don't think I can go to that. Oh, it's going. Subscribe. Yeah, I subscribe. Thank you, Jeff. My house is paid for. Send me. I'll just send you the check, Pep. Cannot see. Yeah, pay mine off and get that Trans Am. Yeah, so things like that would be done. Like if I had built millions and millions of dollars, I like to help people. I just got to figure out how to make those millions. That's the key. There's ways to do it. I look at it like this. Andrew Tate said it best. Yes, I like Andrew Tate. You work your whole life to get to retirement. And when you get to retirement, you finally have enough money to buy a supercar, a Bugatti. You saved up enough money and you worked your whole life to buy a Bugatti, but you're in retirement age. So how much time are you going to get to actually enjoy it? If you can enjoy it, if you can even buy it. Then you got guys like Andrew Tate that's got, I think the last they said he's got like 84 $84 million worth of supercars. So that's something like 30 to 40 supercars, and he can buy them at will. If that's not enough to tell you that money ain't real and there's better ways to make a lot of money without going to a 9 to 5 each day, I don't know what will. I just got to figure out real estate, copywriting, things like that. I don't know. I'd love to get into real estate, open up an Airbnb, and then another one and another one. Auto incorrect. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But anyways, this live stream is about the HG908 Hygger dual sponge filter with bio balls chambers down below. It's not going to be. Because as I was working, I already had the video completed. I was trying to upload it. It was giving me some problems, so I'm not prepared. So we're not going to talk about, we can talk about the sponge filter. Sponge filter is a sponge filter, right? But I completed the video. I'm almost done with the video. Directly after this live stream's over, I'm going to release the video on this product. I will talk about 2 things on the live stream about it, and then I'll just wait till it's over and end it because it didn't work out. Don't know what's going on today with YouTube, but it's delayed. It's not working right for me. Yeah, money laundering. Yeah, got a big boobs, and because only if you make a crap ton of money. That's true. Yeah, working on that. 2-man boobs work whip. Anyway, so I'll say 2 things. I'm going to say 2 key points on this stream about this sponge filter. I like it. It works well. I was running it for a month before I did the video on it. It never clogged. And let's jump to the other side. The only thing I don't like about it is the suction cups. Not very good. I don't know why all companies do not ditch the dang suction cup and go to magnetic mounts. With a sponge filter, you could literally have 1 magnet. They're not heavy. 1 decent sized magnet, you're done. Not 2 small ones, 1 big one. For the love of God, fish keeping market, please get rid of the sponge filters and go to all magnetic mounts. Please. My God. Hey, there's my mom coming in. Good morning. Real estate investing is a lucrative, however much work. Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. An Airbnb. Those make you some good money. I would love to be able to start an Airbnb. That's what I want to do. Yeah, preach it. No more suction cups. No more suction cups. I might have to self-mod such mounts. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If I had a cough, I have. A 3D printer cough, I would be making, and this, I'm going to give this to you guys for free. Whoever starts this, I want to cut. I would be making plastic holders for magnets, glue, and aquarium safe glue, like gel super glues in there to hold them in. And I would sell magnetic mounts with accessories so people can buy them and mount anything in the aquarium and get rid of the suction cups. Garbage, going to the garbage. I'm buying Jeff Kane's magnets, that magnet mounts, designed to hold any sponge filter, any dual sponge filter, any thermometer. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be making some money off that, but I don't have a 3D printer, nor do I want or have the time to sit down and print 3D things and stuff like that. I don't have a channel. I was talking about, I finally made one of your live streams. Oh, well, I sub to you anyway, Roy. So you got a couple videos in there. I'm going to check you out anyways, if you don't mind, unless you don't want me to. Toe wrap loops, tie wrap loops. I've used tie wrap loops. You mean to hold the onto the magnets or instead of glue, North? We do need these mounts. Someone needs to make these mounts with a 3D printer. I know a few people that have a 3D printer. Jeff's one of them. If I had a 3D printer, I would probably be making some money out of it. I'd be making things like that. Things to make the fish keeping hobby easier. We all know suction cups are a constant problem. I would even venture into making, I don't know if a 3D printer can make a long tube. Maybe we can make a airline that never gets hardened. It might not be malleable and flexible. Maybe you can make these like brake line or something made out of plastic that you just have to take a straight shot to your pump, put a 90 in if you're using a regular pump. I'd be making things like that all the time. I'm still working on my design and implementation skills. Okay. Well, one thing is my mom in here, Taryn, she's hit retirement. She is officially retired. So congratulations to you, Mom. Taryn Cribble, retired. Slanging and banging. Going to the strip bars. I said balls. Be nice with that. Going to the strip clubs, hitting the pole, things like that. Can you explain fairy shrimp? What's a fairy shrimp? I know cherry shrimp. What is a fairy shrimp? I'm much less demanding. I just want someone with a 3D printer to make me 5 or 6 aerator pump to hang on back. Things like that, Whip. Exactly. You call me up, tell me what you want. I'll make some designs, get it perfected, and send it to you. Now, Cecil here, don't listen to Cecil. He's like 38. Scotty's like 42. They're going to tell you they're retired and they're old. They're just lying. Well, Roy, you have Roy, you have a following now, so you are stuck. When do you see? That's right, Jeff. Now we're putting the pressure on you, Roy. People were subbing to you. You're in a fish keeping live stream, so I'm assuming you keep fish. We want a live stream, Roy. More like vintage hunting. Yeah. If you're not familiar, my mom on Facebook, I believe she has a little business on there where she does upcycling. She gets things, fixes them up, paints them, creates nice little crafts and decorations. If you're interested, check her out on Facebook. She has a business page over there. Peplin. I talked about it on my last live stream, but that's a good observation. That's right, man. It's gone, as you can see in its place. And this is something I wanted to talk about. Why in the world, Jesse, do you have cinder blocks sitting on top of that stand? Because I did purchase the Glass Cages upgraded foam leveling mat for my acrylic tank, which is showing up at the end of July. I am prepared. I got this stream, and I talked about this on the last stream. It's all prepared, level, ready to go. I got the mat in there, but when they send it to you, it's all rolled up tight. So I had to put some things and stuffs like that to keep it down and get it flattened out. But yep, it's outside over here collected rainwater. Taryn's Upcycles. Yep. For the plug. My mom's learning these new tech terms fairly quickly. It's kind of bothers me. How do you know about the plug? Oh, it's not raining, but the rain, thank God, because it's been nonstop raining. But it's been sitting outside now for a week, and it, got some thunderstorms and it's collecting a little bit of water out there. The thing's so heavy. Hey, Tim. Oh, I wanted to ask you, Tim. I left just some. I got on your YouTube channel and went down and saw videos from 12 and 13 years ago. You always kept saying at the beginning, Fish Tank TV. What's that Fish Tank TV? Was that the name of? Was that like used to be the name of your channel or something? Yeah, stop learning these things. Nah, it's good, I guess. I mean, she's getting in an online game. It's good to know these things, like troll. Apparently, I was trolling earlier this week and learned what that is. I don't know how the vibration transfer would go. It might need a special filament to reduce the vibration transfer. Oh. Talking about 3D and some cool stuff. Fired up. Slim Tim. Let me see if I can do something here. If I go black, I'll be back. don't take that any other way either. Gallery. Now download. All right. No, I don't want that. Now let's try this. Window. Entire screen. Microsoft. How do I do this? I like going live through YouTube. StreamYard wants too much money for their crap. But StreamYard by far is the best way to do live streams, in my opinion. I'm trying to do something. I don't know how to play this. I don't even think that's the right one. God. No, I heard OBS is terrible. I have been doing this YouTube thing for 3 years now, and all I heard is OBS is complicated this and complicated that, and people getting mad and having nothing but issues. I'm too impatient. I don't want nothing to do with OBS. I don't want to learn it. Trolling is good, Jesse, when you're out fishing. That's a good way to look at it, Scotty. It's part of online forum. I was a part of one was through Dustin Fish Tanks, and other was Mr. Mom and Jay's Flush Tanks. So that's cool. They don't I know Dustin's Fish Tank still sells plants, but I think most of them guys are probably gone, huh? If you go black, you never go back. Jesse, don't let George know about your mom's side gig. You might try to plug her too. That's true. That's true. Yeah. I'm back. Had to take my dogs out. Good to have you back, Roy. Tetra used to make them, Jeff. Okay, they're talking. That's good conversation. We've sparked up some good conversation. I gave you a shout out on my live. I was on there, but you weren't. As you've seen, so I appreciate that, Tim. It's just got a learning curve. Yeah, learning curve. It's easy. Okay. Yeah, I don't like anything that takes too long, Jeff. I've always historically used InShot mobile app for editing videos. It's simple. But now I'm using Filmora, which is a little bit more complicated, but you get a lot better of a product. So I'm fine with Filmora. For making videos as far as live streams, I'm fine with using YouTube and StreamYard. I like them both. StreamYard, there's just a little bit of differences between the two, but with StreamYard, it's much easier to share videos and set things up. StreamYard is free and easy if you can deal with the watermark. Yeah, exactly. You can use the free version and get away. You just can't do cool things like automatic intros and outros and stuff like that. Yes, Jesse, Filmora I use for cool, Ray. Yeah, I like Filmora. I like it a lot. I've been using it. Hey, Tommy, good to see you. Back to the dual sponge filter, Tim says. Well, I kind of already said what I was going to say because of YouTube and editing issues, and I couldn't get the video prepared, and so I just said about 2 things about it, the key points of it real quick on here. After this live stream is done, the video is going to come out on that. Just never. What is the best way to transport a mass amount of small fish to your local fish store? I used a bucket, Tommy. When I took 14, now you're obviously talking about more than 14 fish, but I loaded 14 Mabunas up and took them to my local fish store with an air stone in there and just drove them over there. However, a mass amount, all I can tell you is use a cooler and a battery operated air stone. Just keep surface agitation going and get that gas out, oxygen in. Small container like that, I definitely recommend a battery operated air stone. Cooler, yeah. How many are you talking? I went Streamlab for a better upload quality and less learning curve on than pure OBS. Streamlabs. I've played around with Streamlabs a little bit myself. 200. Wow. 200 fish. Multiple trips, man. I'd have to say multiple trips. That's a lot of fish. Part of my massive, right? I know what you're doing. 200 fish. Fry. Are they small or you got some of them peas and haps in there? Things like that. Things like that. What are you got in there? I might be able to come up with one fairly easy depending on your goals. Whip. Well, Jeff, don't forget about me. I want you to make magnetic mounts for me so I can get rid. Let's cut the suction. You know how people say cut the cable, and when you're get rid of the cable and go to fiber optic internet and get rid of the TV to go all net Roku boxes. We need to cut the suction cups, folks. Let's cut the suction cups. Let's get them out of here. Let's go to all magnetic mounts. Jeff's only charging $5 a magnetic mount. For me, they're free. I get immunity. That's what he was saying. Something like that. I heard that anyways. I could be wrong. Didn't really get any tips there, P-Tag. How far is the local fish store from your house? If it's not too far, if it was me, I'd be tapped. Not that I'd want to, but I'd take multiple trips. That's a lot of fish. 1 hour. I would say we're not doing that. I would get 4 or 5 totes. Fill them up halfway, 3/4 with the water. Put the lids on them with battery-operated air stones. And I would take duct tape and tape the lids down. Put them all together in the back of your truck. They're going to splash around, so it's very important to tape them lids down. And I don't know if you have like a load lock or something that you can put on the final tanks to hold them in place so they don't slide back and forth. But that's what I would do. Jeff needs a nipple measurement. 1/16 of an inch. Does that help? Hey, Webbs, good to see you. There's Dee Dee coming in. Appreciate you coming in. You just showed up just in time. Jeff was wanting a measurement of my nipple for some reason. Something wrong with that boy. But it's about 1/16 of an inch. I need to know. I'm pretty sure the magnet alone is more than $5 at that point. What about other nipple measurements? I don't think he's excited to see you. Only 1/16 of an inch. Hello. Call Ohio Fish Rescue. They'll come pick them up. Just joking. Whip uses totes. The thicker black totes. You talking about the ones you get from Walmart? Like, has anybody ever noticed that the cheapest tools have the toughest names? Or is that just something I've noticed? Hyper tough tools from Walmart. The cheapest tools have the toughest names. Good to see you, Webbs. Workforce. I don't know why, because I got one of those black totes down here, Whip, from Walmart. It's a Hyper Tough, and they sell all that Hyper Tough stuff. But I've always noticed that the cheapest tools are the toughest name, and that reminds me of The smallest dogs are the most mouthy. Oh yeah, Tim, I was interested in that, man. You've been doing this a long time. Those videos are going back 13 freaking years. Oh, you get them from Lowe's and Home Depot. Okay. Yeah, that's because we're going to Lowe's, as we should. If you go to Home Depot and you get their totes, sorry, Whip, or their buckets, they're going to fail you every time. They'll also kill every fish in your fish room. Definitely need to stay away. Just go to Lowe's. We've had this conversation. Branton's not in here anymore to talk crap either, so because he knows the truth. He just doesn't want to deal with it. Vin TV. Vin TV, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. Yeah, the clear ones are too pliable. I agree with that. One time I had to quarantine a fancy goldfish in one of them things. And, when you fill it up with water, the sides bubble out. So I took a ratchet strap and went all around it to tighten it up and hold that in. Girl Gone Nano, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. We need a sub to these channels. So that's the deal. Stay away from Home Depot. Hashtag MITB. I'm doing good, Jesse. Hashtag MITB. What does that mean? What does MITB mean? See, I can't select on the name. Jesse, did you see at the end of my title modification video yesterday, my huge blue bucket at the end, 55-gallon size. You got one of those. Yeah, you got one of those big 55-gallon plastic drums. Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, that's a big one, but it ain't Lowe's. Melvin is in the building. Toasty. Okay, now how would I know what that means? They are tough. You have to do it from the YouTube side. I'm on YouTube. I can bring it up on my second monitor. I know what you mean. I buy used pickle barrels for water storages. Yeah, Melvin keeps it. He keeps changing his name. I don't know. I see these new names come in saying my name. I don't know this guy. He keeps changing his name. I think he likes messing with our minds at this point, personally. Thank you, Joe. Keeping on messing with us. So yes, I did have one of my little convict fries develop fungus on his underside or belly, and I think he damaged it somehow because there's nothing wrong with any of the other ones. I think he got damaged, so I pulled him out. I put him in a QT tank, but I've said it before. I'm the kind of guy that'll spend $30 on medications to save a guppy because I love animals. I love all living things. If I can give it a chance, I'm going to do it. Of course, it didn't work. He did die. So I think what happened was he got damaged, and then it turned into a fungal infection. Tried a couple different things and salt, and it was too late. The dang thing got so big it was bigger than the fish because the convicts are just growing up. I felt bad. I always feel bad, but I try my best. I don't like to see anything suffer or die. I'll put $30 of medications in a tank for an Ember Tetra if I feel he's sick. Stand up here a little bit. The home death spot is Home Depot, if that's what you didn't know. The home death spot. Never heard it called that. I call it Home Depot. Oh yeah, I'd stand up here a little while. Got a nice fan blowing on me. Let me show you guys something my Mabuna is like. And I want to know if you guys have ever used this because I never see anybody else talking about it. I've talked about it a few times on the Aquatic News Network and my own channel. Have you guys ever used these? They've got different versions. %, seaweed, Mega 1. I've always liked the Mega 1 stuff. You can get the green, the red, and there's another one. My Mabunas will fight over this. They play tug of war. They love this. I like it. Gives your fish something else to eat. Seaweed's good for them. Anybody else ever use that? And I don't hear a lot of people talking about Omega 1. For years, that was the only fish food I kept or fed. It's a decent little food. It's not the level of your North Fin or New Life Spectrum and things like that. But I think it's a good fish food. I always wondered what you guys thought about Omega 1 fish foods. So you should binge some AVE on YouTube. Really funny Canadian. AVE. I watch Damon Darling. He's funny. Hey, Prodigal. Good to see you, buddy. Which you coming in? Oh, yeah. Fed my baboons some this morning. Oh, so you got the seaweed too, Paul? Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Masha. There's Masha coming in. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. Hope you're doing well. Ben is Melvin. Confusing once again. Joe, I'm not sure what the brand name is, but the black ones with the yellow lids. I'm going to share you out. Thanks. Appreciate you sharing me out. Tool related. Now, Skeptical Aquatics, me and him was talking a while back, and he pointed me to a guy named Terral Fixes All. He's a funny guy, too. He kind of fixes things, and it's all for comedy. Terral Fixes All or something. The hell happened to Skeptical Aquatics anyway? I think his channel got hacked or something. He lost all of his videos, and I think I know the Cichlid Charmer. He's been hacked twice. He's going through a heck of a time with that. Jeff, can you post Dawn's channel? I don't know if I'm subbed or not. So no one answered my question yet, except for Jim. Did you guys like Omega 1 fish foods? My Oscars and my Dempsey absolutely love these. They smack the water surface so hard when I put these in. They love the shrimp. Oh boy. Vince says, Whip, I just like throwing off the trolls and people who tries to get under my skin. Roy Baker feeds the Omega 1. Okay. Whip, you've never used it. You've never used Omega 1 fish food. You understand this stuff's been around forever, right? DD says, I don't normally use Omega 1, but occasionally I pick them up at the local fish store. Oh, yeah, Marco. Martinez has a new name's coming in. Certainly appreciate you coming in. Yeah, ask all the questions you want. We've got a chat room full of experienced fish keepers, and that's part of why we do this. We love to help. So ask all the questions you want. Appreciate you. I never heard of Omega One. You've never heard of Omega One? These guys have been around forever. They are, from what I understand, they're out of Alaska, if that's right, and owned by what's the main Spectrum? The Spectrum brand foods own Omega One now. Not a bad fish food. It's got a decent quality. Now, it doesn't have all the high quality ingredients your higher end foods have, like Omega or Northfin Foods, Extremes, things like that. But if you need a nice fish food quickly, go to your PetSmarts and your Petco's, and you can pick this up, and it's a decent. So just to give you an idea, the first ingredients. Are they not labeling them anymore? So they got, this is the freeze dried version of the shrimp, so it's going to be a little bit different. But you can get their flakes and pellets. They have 2 or 3 very good ingredients in their fish foods. Never heard of Omega One, Jeff. I know you're messing with me. My wife's new channel disappeared. YouTube said they did not remove it. Can I put biostratum in media bags and cover it up with black sand? Well, let me ask you first, why would you want to do that? I'm not a Omega One fan ever since Northern Extreme. That's all I use. Yeah. Same, but I like to pick little things up like this because I know my Oscars love these. The Dempsey loves these, and I love interacting the way they interact with these. I've used frozen Omega. Yep, same girl. Yep, I've used the frozen foods. Man, what size plant? Question: If first timer getting a fish for your home, what fish would you recommend starting out with? Oh, there's lots of options there, but definitely the first question, like Dee Dee was asking there, the very first question is, what size fish tank? You buy the Omega One Tupaflex worm. I've done that. Yeah, I've had all their foods over the years. Whip uses Hykari and Tetra before switching to Extreme and Northfin because I knew there was different qualities of fish food. Yeah, everyone praises Hykari, and I don't understand why. I've watched several videos. Ben Ochart did one, and I've compared them myself. Hykari really isn't that good of a food. They're just a very big company that's been along a long time, and their name's carrying them. But if you actually sit down and you compare the ingredients in Hykari to your Northfins, to your Extremes, to your new Life Spectrums, it's not even close. Roy says my bristlenose pleco will not eat Northfin kelp wafers, but it will Hykari. But that's the thing too, Roy. You can buy the most expensive food in the world. If they're not going to eat it, you something's better than nothing. So if you have to go to the grocery store and get the old, which I hate this food. What the hell? The name's escaping me right now. Wardley's. It is what it is. The reason I love Northfin so much is the owner himself makes all the food with his personal. Yeah, and he's down to earth, and he's donated to more causes and events than I can count. No, I haven't noticed Omega. You're serious, Jeff? You've never heard? This baffles my mind, man. They're everywhere. You can get them at any PetSmart or Petco. I also like Omega One freeze-dried bloodworms. Yep, done that. Absolutely, same, Ben or Mel. Damn you, Ben. Damn you, Mel. I do, however, like Omega One's frozen. Yeah, they do have a good frozen fish. I do like the Sally's frozen krill, too. Sunfish for fish. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. Oscars or koi. Oscars or koi. 100% fish food gold. I don't know what you're talking about there, Jeff. Nice to use. Then I like the colorful fish. I do like the Oscars. Oscars are nice, but you need at least you need a big tank for an Oscar. They get big. I just like the look, and someone told me I could do something like that, and it should work with live plants. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Marco, you're still putting a fertilizer, if you will, in your tank to grow your plants. And you can do it any way you want. That's what's nice about this hobby. If you want to put that stuff in media bags, stick it down in under your substrate, by all means, you can do it and then get your plants in there. But I'm just trying to kind of figure out why you want to do it. You say you like it for the looks, but to me, what I think of, if you're doing that, because all those substrates that provide fertilization for plants eventually exhaust. So the idea of putting it in a media bag, leaving it under your substrate for a year or two, it's much easier to grab it, pull it out, and put a new fresh bag in when it's exhausted. If you notice that your plants are no longer thriving like they used to after a couple of years, it's kind of a good indicator saying that your fertilizing, whatever you use for a fertilizer, is depleted and it's no longer providing nutrients for your plants anymore. That would be a great way to swap it out real easy. I don't use that stuff personally. I've dabbled with it years ago, but honestly, all my plants you see here get stuck right into the sand. I've done it in gravel, and that's it. That's all I do. I have played with the liquid fertilizer several times. I do believe it does give them a boost and get them started, but anything after that, we've discussed it on this live stream before. After you get them established, it's kind of a waste of money. Just let them go. Just use it as liquid fertilizers as a boost. I don't use root tabs, and my plants seem to do fine. I will say the dirted sandcap tank by far made my plants lush, beautiful, green. They were out competing algae. I never had algae issues. The organic dirt with sandcap is by far the cheapest and, in my experience, the best way to grow plants. If you have fish that's not going to interact with substrate and dig it up. If I was to create a planted tank with small fish, that is the way I would do it. I would be doing the organic sandcap tanks. And staying away from additives and macros and micros and spending 20 and hundreds of dollars on that crap. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely whip. And I've had like my Oscars, they do not like Extreme Monster, the 9mm pellets. They don't like it. I had bought a whole container and I had to crush it up in a coffee grinder so I could feed it to my other fish. I'm glad Dee Dee's helping Masha. Her name's Dee Dee, by the way, Mayhem and Miracles. Her name is Masha. She does a fantastic job. So if you guys ever been on TikTok, you can go to like grow rooms to help grow your TikTok channels. That's what Masha or Mayhem and Miracles does for the YouTube community. She has helped hundreds of YouTube members grow their channels down to binge watching your videos to help you with your watch hours. She's a fantastic person. She gives you shouts out. She shares your channels out. That's what she does. That's what she likes to do. So if you're not, please subscribe to Mayhem and Miracles because she does a fantastic job supporting us. I met her through Craig on Craig's Live a while back, and we've got along and been friends ever since, and she's really helped my channel too. So if you can give back to Mayhem, she gets a lot of people in there. She gets a lot of people together. She brings new people to your channel. So let's help support her if you guys don't mind. Back to work, Jesse and everyone had to go. That sucks. You got to go to work. It's P-tag, but appreciate you, buddy. I use primarily Basler's, North Fin Extreme, and the Aquarium shrimp pellets. Even though I don't have dojos anymore, those shrimp pellets were the favorite for them. Okay, yeah, it's important to vary the diet. So I have a gold dojo loach, and you said they liked the shrimp pellets. Okay, yeah, I've had the Omega One catfish pellets before. I don't know if it's like the same thing. The best beginning fish of Oscars and koi in a 5-gallon tank. Come on, Jeff's in here. He's being an instigator this morning. He must have. I think Jeff had a little too much coffee today. What the hell is that noise? Skipper, come in. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. I use the Omega One Flakes. Fish have liked it. Craig Flynn. That is a new name too. I'm getting a lot of new names in this live stream. I certainly appreciate it. I use the Omega One Flakes. Fish have liked it. Like you said, if fish don't eat it, doesn't matter how much exactly. Yeah. And Omega One's a decent food. I've always used their food periodically, and so I used to exclusively feed until I found better. Dee Dee mentioned Dr. Baslier. I hear that's a fantastic food. A lot of people are turned off by him because he doesn't put the ingredients of the food on his bottle, but that's much like Aquafunk's food. Did a video on this. I can't remember if I did the video. No, I had to change it because I had trouble with it. But this is the only thing about the food that Aquafunk promotes here is he don't list the ingredients of it. Now, it's not Aquafunk's food, but he promotes it, sells it, weighs it out, and sends it. And he does a fantastic job. When he sends these out, they are packed tight. You get a lot of food in one container, one little bag here. And most of my fish do seem to like it. This is the Pro Mix. You get it 3 different foods in this. The other ones I've given away. I think Scotty got one. He did a video on it. I think Cecil might have got one. And I think, can't remember the third person who won that. But again, Scotty found out that this isn't working to reorder. And he agreed with me that don't like the fact that it doesn't label the ingredients. Throat's getting dry. Hey, Foxy, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. I've been seeing you in some chats and commenting on some videos. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Scotty's been putting out a crap ton of content lately. Like, that's good. I won't use Dr. Baz because he doesn't list the ingredients. That's what Whip says. Yeah. I'm just having trouble figuring how to start it off. Okay, Marco. Well, there's a lot of planted carnosaurs in here with the aquarium where I believe Foxy's one. Stephen P. definitely. Tommy. A lot of these guys know their plants. So they would definitely, if they could chime in. Marco wants to know if it'd be okay to put, I think you said fluval stratum in a media bag, put it down and then cover it up with black sand. Will that still grow as plants? Now, obviously, when you're condensing all that into one area, you're kind of limited to where you can put your plants, right? That's the only thing I could say about that. Like, instead of just spreading it all across the bottom, you're putting it in one clump. But if you're going to do several of them, you can still do that. It's still going to provide your plants nutrients. But there's a lot of planted tank experts in here. You're just having trouble figuring how to start it off. Well, just put it in a media bag, lay it down, and cover it up, my man. Yep, Scotty did a video on the Pro Mix. I've been feeding his fish with it. They seem to love it. Very cool. Yeah, I like to get some follow-ups on stuff like that to see how they're liking it. I'll reveal my personal salient food mix here. I've talked about it before. People do that, but I always ask Stephen or Kelly. Okay. Yeah, Stephen P. Kelly, they're very plant gurus. Plant gurus. They use the CO2. Their tanks are absolutely beautiful. I guess if you want to plant a tank, by far the best way is going to be your CO2. I feel like second best is the organic dirt with a sand cap. So what I did is I made my own what I call salient mix. I mixed all of my favorite fish foods and my best fish foods in one container, and I can go around and feed them all and I put them in one container. In here is the Northfin cichlid pellets, the Bug Pro sticks from Northfin, the Bug Pro pellets from Northfin, and the Krill Pro from Northfin. And then I also added in New Life Spectrum cichlid pellets and tropical pellets. So you're getting 2 high quality foods at different sizes in one container, and I can go around and feed all my fish. And it smells good, and I know that they are getting all the nutrients they need right out of this bad boy here. Now, I do like to change it up with different foods. Got the Aquafunk, I got the Omega one, I got the New Life Spectrum, and I have in a container my very own veggie mix of food that is separate from everything else because I do have Mabuna and they need veggies in their diet. What that mix is Northfin veggie pellets with New Life Spectrum's Algae Max pellets. Again, a fantastic mix of vegetables for all fish. I don't just feed this to my Bunas. Vegetables is good for everybody, and they all eat it. So that's what I like to try to do. Mix different foods, put them all together so it's easier to feed. I also do it for all my wafers. I've got Northfin kelp wafers in here. I've got Tetra's Pro algae wafers in here mixed in. There's also another one in here. I can't remember what it is. I think maybe Cobalt's algae wafers. I put them all together because just so in case, maybe the Pleco don't like that one, but he likes this one. The dang Mbuna will grab these things and take it and chew on it. But that's what I try to like to do. Mix a few high quality foods in one container. Good to go. Cover all your bases. I also made in here, you can see some parts are a little finer than the others. Like this is finer than the top. I would probably have to regrind this up. But this is a bunch of Northfin foods ground down to a powder for fry. And I do the same with some of their flake food. I do find the flake food grinds up into a more finer powder and easier. And that's all their flake food mixed, which is the cichlid, the krill flake, and the kelp flake. And I feed that to all my fry food. I make my own little fry food. There for a while, Northfin was selling a fry starter powder food. They stopped selling it because they had to make some changes. And from what I understand, that fry food is back to for purchase. Jose won the last one, I think. Yeah, it was Tim too. Unfortunately, when Tim's arrived, the bag was busted open, but because I had it in a bubble mailer, it was still all contained. I'm just glad the bubble mailer didn't break open. Oh my. People do that, but I always ask you, can we do there? And so many ways to do planet tanks. Hey, Asaya, good to see you. I think we all have our own technique and style. There's June coming in. Appreciate you. Silk plants don't need CO2. Silk plants are very realistic and looking good. And if you want to clean them, you can pull them out and scrub them off and spray them off and put them back in. It's something I wanted to play with. I've got away from the fake plants years ago, and I've been real plants ever since because of the benefit they add. But I've often thought about getting a bunch of silk plants just to play around with a tank and have fun with it. I'm too cheap to have plants that need ferts. If they can't live on fish poop, oh well. Yeah, and they will. The fish expel ammonia when they breathe. Their waste, all that stuff. The plants will use. Northfin garlic food smells so good. Yeah, but I'll tell you, New Life Spectrums garlic. They have a lot of garlic in their food. And you can really smell it. But Northfin, that's my go-to. Nothing like watching fish eat food you actually made. Yeah, and green beans. They can eat a lot of that stuff. Better, you can go get frozen shrimp and feed it to them from the store. You don't have to buy the stuff at the pet store. Don't want to mind you because I am not a good because I am not a good fertilizer, but I give them a squirt or two from time to time. I understock most of my tanks, sometimes one beta and a 40. So says I do that too. I mix my favorite foods of all sizes, types, and container. Very cool. Roy says my rainbow cichlids will eat the Northfin kelp woofers. Very cool. Marco says, because I already spent a lot to start it. I'm not going back now. Oh, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that, Marco. Scotty's fish loves romaine lettuce. What's weird, I've tried to feed my plecos and my goldfish green beans, cucumbers, all these videos I see of people feeding their fish these things. My fish don't like them. They spit it out. I even tried, we all know goldfish, they'll eat anything. One of them had bloat. I was trying the old raw garlic trick. All that did was make my house smell like garlic for a freaking 2 weeks. He put the garlic in his mouth and spit it back out. My fish do not like unsalted vegetables. Because, if you're feeding your fish these vegetables, you want to make sure they're unsalted. But none of mine will eat it. They won't. Always had that issue. I tried green beans, peas, raw garlic, cucumbers. I've tried cutting them in small pieces, larger pieces, taking the skin off, leaving the skin off. They won't touch it. They just don't like it. Well, my birds are screaming. I guess that's cool, Roy. I got birds too, man. I understand. Yep. I got a Quaker parrot, and a cockatiel. We love them. So appreciate you coming in, my friend. Have a good rest of your weekend, if it's your weekend for you. What is that noise? I keep hearing it. It literally sounds like someone's in here. Nope, nobody in here. If I had my hand in a salt tank earlier and I have to go in a shrimp tank, the shrimp cover my hand. Well, that's neat. This guy says, Jesse, are you blanching the zucchini and the cucumbers first or just putting them in raw? I have blanched the peas, but I don't. I just was putting the green beans and cucumbers straight in. Jeff Jose, post Roy's channel. Well, now Roy did say he really doesn't have a channel. But I sub to him. Sweet Polly coming in. Good to see you. Dee Dee says, oh, sometimes you keep hearing noises in the house and it has to be checked out. Yeah, Dee Dee. Try blanching the cucumbers and see if they will. Okay, I'll try that. I'll try it, Scotty. God, I'm getting hungry. I haven't had breakfast yet. Just one more fish. Jesse, number 2, coming in. Good to see you. Appreciate you joining the conversation. Something else I had to show you guys. We talked about the glass cages, Matt. The stand is ready to go for the 375 when it comes in. I am going to send that Hygger pump over there to Branton. He wanted it. We talked a little bit about the Hygger dual sponge filter. I am dropping the video once this live stream is over. I just got to do a couple touch-ups to it, and it'll be good to go. That'll be the review for that. And then we've already last week talked about how I typed in that big Hygger high flow air pump into my central air system. I'll keep it as backup as needed. but I do need to make a video on that yet. Once I complete the dual Hygger sponge filter review, which will be today, and I complete the big old air pump up there, we'll see what Hygger is wanting to send next. I'm in a converted garage with an exterior door still up, kind of in the house, but yet outside. Yeah, Dee Dee, that's the same thing here. I have a single stall garage. It used to be a little bigger than that. I turned that bump out part into a bird room. But right in front of me, I'm looking at my garage door. I don't want to turn it into a room because sometimes I need to open this door and it needs to be available to do so. I just sealed it really good, insulated it, and put a Mr. Cool heating and cooling split unit in here. But this is my fish room. It is a single stall garage. Used to be in the dining room, but now that I got out here, I was able to get more tanks. Definitely the monster tank I'm finally getting. Would have never been able to put that in the dining room unless the wife would have let me got rid of the dining room table, which wasn't going to happen. We've talked about that in the past, if you guys remember. Who needs a table? We'll get TV stands, but we always sit most times and eat dinner together, and that's something I really don't want to change. Except for the daughter, she's getting a little bit older. She's not always hungry. We have always religiously ate. Dinner has been 5 o'clock. We have always religiously ate dinner at 5 o'clock, and it's never changed. So you think she would have adapted to that, but come 4:30, 5 o'clock, the wife and I are hungry. We're ready to sit down and eat dinner. She just doesn't seem to be. Maybe it's the age difference. I don't know. But I did a lot of cleaning up in here, getting a lot of crap. Took 3 garbage bags of junk I don't use anymore. Made room for more storage for the things I want to keep. Got the stand built, wood glued and screwed, leveled, ready to go. Now I got the mat because this tank coming is acrylic. Self-leveling. I lowered the stand, getting excited. It should be here. Just standing here looking at the size of this stand kind of gives you the idea how big it's going to be, and I can't wait till it gets here. I do need to dose some Vitachem today for all the fish. This one tiger barb over here is wormy. He's like this all the time. I don't always have to check him out. Things like that. Sai says that's what happened with my last age. What? Okay. I swear I'm going to throw this HOB out of the window. It's always making noise. I would, June. Hanging the back filters are garbage. They're absolute garbage. Everybody on here knows that I hate the hang in the back filter. They're great for what they're used for. But in my experience with them, no matter what brand, they constantly need maintenance. Weekly, you got to clean them. They're overflowing. They're getting clogged. Even with the pre-filters, it seems like the impellers on them get bound up. And maybe a free plant root gets wrapped around it or a female hair that's floating around in the air. I hate a hang on the back filter. And they're gaudy. They're up on the back of the tank. I like my canisters. You don't see anything. And also my second favorite is air-driven filters and air-driven things and having a central air system. Love it. Those are it. That's my filtration. Canister filters and air. Everything else, you're out of here. I am still running some hang in the back filters that I use for specific things, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be unplugging them too. I have to have extra filtration on the 125-gallon Mabuna tank because if I don't, it gets dirty. The water gets yellow. You just need multiple filtration for that aquarium because there's a lot of Mabuna in there. And I would have to say the Oscar tank's only ran by an FX6. They don't have too many issues with that tank. It's just that 125 Mabuna tank. All these other tanks, I'm going to get those HOBs off there. Less things plugged in, less things to worry about, less things to clean, and that's what my fish room's all about. Cost effective, efficiency, so you can spend more time enjoying your fish than working in it. Unless, of course, working in it is something you like to do, which I think we all do to a degree. I definitely like doing maintenance, but I hate dealing with hang on the back filters, so they're out of here. Water sounds bubbling all good. The HOB is SOB. Yeah. I actually like the sound of the bubbling. That's a question I wanted to ask you guys. Sponge filters, air stones. Do you guys like the boiling sound or does it get on your nerves? I like it. I like coming in. It reminds me of going to a fish store. Because, they always got the 20-gallon longs and a bunch of sponge filters running. That's all you hear. And that's what it reminds me of. I enjoy coming in here and hearing that. However, what I don't like to hear is the buzz of the air pump itself. That is why I continue to use the Gemco LPH90, and I'm only using the Hygger, which pumps out a lot more PSI as backup. It's not overly loud, but there's a buzz to the point my dogs heard it in the next living room over. My living room is right on the other side of this wall. They heard that and they started barking when I first plugged it in. But says that wouldn't work in the north. Not in my garage anyway. It gets too dang cold here, and I'd have to do some serious work to make it hold heat. Plus, I don't keep my vehicles or Harleys outside. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whipping. Yeah. I got you on that whip. You need your garage. Now, I used my garage, and I know this is a crazy concept down south because down here I've noticed everybody turns their garage into a man cave or another part of their house. I have always used my garages as a garage, like whip. It was never cluttered. I could open the garage door, park my car in here, and go in the house. Great during thunderstorms. I have my toolboxes in here, things like that. I've always used my garage for what it's supposed to be used for. However, things changed. I wanted to keep my fish, and I love having a fish room out here. And it's kind of like a man cave for me now because I can come out here and spend time with my hobby and my fish and doing videos and talking to you guys. So it's a space that provides me what I want to do. Pretty soon, I'm hoping it gets taken over by Pothos. As you can see, they're doing really good. But at the same time, if I ever had to get out of this hobby or quit, it's still a garage. I never took the garage door down and created a wall. It's still a garage. All I'd have to do is bring my stuff back in, park the car back in here, done. But there are steps you can take with, like you said there. It's very simple. You go get the Mr. Cool split unit that does your heating and cooling. You hang it on the wall. Mount your outside unit, wire it up. Put some insulation on your garage door, seal it at the bottom, get some new seals on the side and bottom. You're done. That's it. And it will definitely work in the north. I'm from the north, sir. I am born and raised in Pennsylvania. I've only been in North Carolina for about 8 some years. Yep. Oh, y'all need garages for vehicles up north. Yep. Like them all, from my sump to canisters to HUBs and internal filters. They're all good. Scotty likes them all. He's not racist to any filter. We're not racist. The word I'm looking for is discriminatory. Pardon that language. Dee has a bunch of sponges and several canisters on the bigger tanks, but all the tanks have sponges. Air pump is connected to a generator switch. You're talking about the what is the word for that? Interlock. Getting a spare FX out and a spray bar, it's got to go. Why are you getting rid of a canister filter, June? Air-driven filters suck for mechanical filtration. I absolutely hate them. However, they are a good backup biologic filter. Yeah, I agree with you. You're just not going to get the particles out a canister filter is going to do for you, or a hang in the back filter is going to do for you. But they will get some of the smaller stuff, depending on the course of the sponge. Coarse sponges are going to take in a lot more, obviously. But it keeps them there. It holds them there. It doesn't go anywhere. But all filters do that, essentially. But I like my high flow. I'm never going to get rid of my canister filters. They are my favorite. I don't think in my fish room that I wouldn't mind doing it because of the cost is much cheaper on the electric bill and cost period for buying sponge filters versus canister filters. But with the fish I keep, I just can't get away with going all air. It just wouldn't work. Halo, and that's another new noise. I hate any bubbling noise and the noise of water pumps. I do, however, like waterfall sounds. I can understand that, Halo. Appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us for a little bit here. Hates and I get it. Everybody has their quirks. Like, I can't stand hearing somebody chew food. And I hate the sound of people whispering. Those are my things. So I get it. I hate those two sounds with a passion. Instantly makes me mad. Insta rage. Someone starts whispering to me, insta rage. Don't whisper in my ear and don't chew. I don't want to hear you chewing your food. Get on my last. I like the bubble sound. Even my ponds have water dripping for the noise outside, but I do like the bubbling noise, Dee. But then I'm an aquarium. An aquarian, could it be real? Gotcha, Dee. Asaya likes the bubble sounds and the look, same. But Whip has a basement, which we lust for in the south. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd love to have a basement, Dee. There are some houses around Fayetteville in certain areas that do have basements. Yep. But you're right. I wish I missed my basement because I was up north and had basements. I'd love to have a basement fish room so I could still have my garage. Whip says, when I had a sump, that was the noisiest filter I have ever personally experienced. Okay. I've never had a sump. I can't say anything about sumps. I don't like them. I don't want them. Not a fan. Me too, Jesse. I'm a damn Yankee, but raised in the South. Well, you got a heck of a Southern accent there, Dee. Tell you that. Double D. Double D. Whip says, thanks, Eminem. I got the notification. Very cool. Whip the slurp. That was annoying. Excellent filtration. Always a problem. Where are you from in PA? If you're talking to me, Jesse, too, I lived in, well, I was born and raised there, so I lived in many places, but the last place I lived there where I had a family in my own house was a little town called Butler, Pennsylvania, which was about an hour and a half from Pittsburgh. Yeah, I don't like the whisper either, June. So annoying, June. It was a blessing in disguise when that tank blew a seal and all the glass replaced it at my request with a non-drilled tank. Yeah, this new 375 coming in, Whip. I said, I don't want holes. I'm not doing a sump. I don't want overflows. I want a rectangle aquarium with no crap. I'm going to filter it with 2 FX6 canister filters. I've got air tied in already. If I want to drop some of my larger sponge filters or air stones or something, there's going to be power heads going in there. No drilled. It's just a square tank. Jeff's going to whisper sweet nothings into Jesse. Wait. Dee, I will whisper sweet nothings in Jesse's ear. Oh, I hate the whispers. Yeah, I wish I had a basement. I don't think they have them here in Texas. Only basement in Texas I know of is a tornado shelter. Well, there you go. Turn the tornado shelter into a fish tank shelter. Jesse 2 says his sump's noisy. Well, you got a lot of fish. That whole room noisy, boy. You can whisper in my ear anytime. Man, Jose. You're going to get caught one of these times, Jose. The wife's going to be in here. Oh, that's right. It disappeared. You're safe. Dee sumps are very quiet. Oh, yeah, that's a little town. I'm a PA dweller in Allentown. Oh, I know Allentown. My uncle was over there. I had an uncle that lived there for years, Allentown. Yep, I'm familiar. Been there. Asias has always wanted to try canisters. Maybe after my move in December, I can actually have a fish room. Yes. But I'm going to tell you, Asaya, once you go canister, you never go back. And I'm not sure all the size tanks you have, but my favorite canisters is the Fluval 407, the Fluval 306, and the FX4 and FX6. Which is basically, honestly, the Fluval 407 canister is probably my favorite canister filter. If I could use all those to run all these tanks, I would, but it's just not quite big enough for some of them. But I do like the 407 even over the FX series. even though you get more power and you get more stage of filtration with the FXs, I like the 407s. I like that they're a thinner filter. They fit in smaller spaces. They're a little bit easier to deal with when you have to clean them. You get 4 stages of filtration. I gotta say, I don't know about you guys, but my favorite fluval filter of all time is the 407 canister filter. Jesse, can you tell me what size tanks are on the stand to the left of your new tank stand? You're talking about this setup right over here. So right there is a 55 gallon. I'm growing an Oscar out in. And these are 2 20-gallon longs. What do you say, Jose? My whispers usually come with, can I have the credit card? Jesse, you're really missing out on the benefits of sump. I love my sump. Just took a bit of tweaking. Yeah, absolutely. And I know the benefits. I understand them. I have researched, listened to a lot of you guys. There's, Ben Ochart calls him the king of filtration for a reason, and he's right. Because not only can you put your heater in them, taking them out from being have to be in the aquarium. If something goes wrong with the heater, it buys you a little bit more time. A sump also actually adds gallons to your aquarium, which gives you more water. So let's say if you have a 125 gallon aquarium and you've got maybe a 40 or maybe even a 100 gallon sump, you actually have a 275 gallon aquarium because you have more water volume with a sump. You can use a sump as a refugium. You can put plants in there. Lots of benefits to them. I understand that. I just never I just don't like drilled tanks. I don't like having to babysit the sump. I know there's things around that and ways to do it, and you guys have been using know-it-all, but what the power goes out and it backs up and I overflow, I'm at work, things like that. Let's see here. I only have FX6s and 2 HOBs. Will be 1 HOB by lunch. I have 2 407s, 1 306, 2 FX4s, and 3 FX6s. And Scotty sent me a spray bar for the FX series. I have it up here. I still got to put that in, Scotty. Thank you for that. I didn't know they made them. I heard the FX2 is pretty cool. Whip. Product says, I miss my Eheim, and not surprisingly, I don't have many friends. The FX2 is pretty bad. I'm never going to prime a canister again. Yeah. And that's the thing with the 407 and the 306, you do have to do a little bit of manual priming. With the FX series, it does it itself. I have an FX4. No, the FX4 is bigger than the 407. Sweet Polly says, thanks, Jesse. I figured the top ones were 20 long. Wasn't sure what the size of the bottom. Yeah, it's all cinder block and wood. I put that together so I get more tanks in here and save room. But I like that too. It works out well. I love the 407 series. The FX series is really hard for me to get the hoses off. It's not user-friendly for a woman with weak hands. I got you. Yeah, and teach their own. You got to do what you got to do. 407 is probably my favorite. I got a 306 down here that won't die. That thing's been running since 2016, and the thing won't die. They can be difficult sometimes for sure, June. And like Rose, those aqua stop valves, sometimes when you got to take them off, they can be tough. And you always squirt out a little bit of water. I don't care what you do. D says, they're hard to work as arthritis kicks in and I get frustrated sometimes with the FX6. Some is my fault, as when I built my stand, I should have made it 4 inches. Yeah, and that's the other thing. We got to watch like this new one. They're going to be tight. I had to literally cut notches out in the wood so I can slide them in and out. But I tested it. I can get under there, disconnect, and pull them out before the tank shows up. I do use a hammer to remove a few quick connects. There you go. June's got a solution. Use a hammer and a pry bar. Pumps are great. They just give me too much anxiety. Knowing someone drilled holes in a perfectly good glass box, not in tanks big enough to justify sumps. That's a lot of potential water on the floor. My FX6s and I agree with that, Whip. Oh, let me switch. My FX6s and my stand, I really should take it out. I would. Thank you. Where were they? On top of what? Oh, that's the cat. Huh? There's nothing blinking. Oh. Yeah, I agree with that, Whip. My FX6s and my CCA Whale 500 are all just diehards. I love them. GD says, huh? Speak up. Huh? I was sitting down. I stood up because I was tired of sitting down. My FX6 is I made a fake bottom for the stand. I really should take it out. It would make life easier. Oh, for sure. The pry bar is not always necessary. Hard to get away from canisters. I use HOB and sponges on the 720s and 10s, working tanks. And Whip knows about water on the floor. Oh yeah. Yeah, but you know what? What I've noticed about Whip is once something happens to Whip, he's a hardhead and he refuses to go back, even when I have given him fantastic solutions. Let me give you an example. Whip refuses to use sand as a substrate in his aquariums because it clogged his plumbing in his house one time and it cost a lot of money and it was a pain in the butt to fix. Definitely a terrible situation, and I don't blame him. So now he does nothing but gravel. And we've had this talked about this in the past many times. The man will not go back to sand when sand is the superior substrate in a fish tank, hands down, and every aspect. Gravel works, but they don't hold as much beneficial bacteria. They don't hold on to plants as easy, and they're harder to clean with the Python because you have to get every inch. Where with sand, all the garbage sits on top, very easy to suck out in a few minutes. All you have to do, Whip, when you're doing water changes and the maintenance in a tank with sand in it, is to not hook it up to your sink in your house. Hook it up to your garden hose outside through a window, through a door, and the sand goes outside. That's why I told him he ain't having it. He's too scared. He ain't going back. But sand is the superior substrate in a tank, way better than gravel. Gravel gives you a different look. I like to sprinkle it in for a different look, but it is not on the level of sand, my man. And that, I approve this message. I know they'll grow in a bare bottom tank. Because plants don't just get their nutrients from their roots, they also get it from the water column through the leaves. Jesse for president. That's right. I'll tell Whip how it is. He's such a hard head. I know this last one wasn't your fault, Whip. It was an act of nature, right? If you use sand and green buckets, you have the greatest fish room. Sweet Polly knows. Blue lows buckets, sand, your fish room will thrive even after you're not there anymore. You want to use gravel and Orange Home Depot buckets and Branton's little girl buckets, your fish are going to get disease and die. Whip hasn't replied. I think he's typing a book. I'm waiting for Whip to come back with this paragraph and an FU at the end. No orange buckets. They're terrible. Don't get me started, Jesse, too. God, I'm gonna have to go get a piece of that pizza. I don't know, but I am hungry. Did you guys have breakfast yet? Black sand always finds a way. I'm like, yeah. Uh-oh. What about the $2,000 in filters that sand ruins? No. I got a solution for that. I've already told you that, Whip. Pre-filters. I have to have pre-filters on my canister filters in the Babuna tank the Oscar tank or sand gets in them. However, if you put the pre-filter on, nope, no problem. Now, you might have to clean the pre-filter off weekly, take them out, give them a quick hit with the garden hose, stick it back on. But it keeps the sand out. You have to use the top fin square ones. Like this. The sand don't go through these. The sand will go through the Aquarium Co-op coarse sponge, though, however, because it's no good. The sand goes right through. Now, here's another product. I don't know if you guys seen my video a long while back, but Flipper sent this to me. The flip mitt. You guys ever seen the Flipper flip mitt? Microfiber on one side. On the other side. So how I explain this to people is, you ever use a clay bar when you clean your car? When you're washing your car? A clay bar actually pulls crap out of the paint to make a nice clean job there. That's kind of what this side does for the glass. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go over the tank with this side first, and then you'll just flip this mitt around like this, and you got microfiber side. And you can do your Windex and things like that. What do you guys think of these flip mitts? You ever used them? You ever heard of them? You like the idea? Let me know. Because I have 2 of them I don't use. Might be a little bit of a giveaway. Sand is superior. Yes, it is. The one benefit of not having a basement is just siphon water outside a window water. Yep, that's what I do. I got hoses set up. They go right out the door with a pump. I always drain to outside. Same. But the co-op sponges on the regular sponge filters, they are perfect pre-filters. They are, but they do let sand through. Appreciate you, Dee Dee. $2,000 of filters that sand. Yeah, I never had that problem with. Pre-filters, man, save you a lot of money. Spend $2-3 on a pre-filter. I may have to shut this live stream down. My throat's giving out on me. I'm out of coffee. I can't lubricate, and I'm getting hungry. So we're going to go ahead and probably shut this down. I certainly appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with me. Always fun. Always enjoy you guys. Look forward to Saturday mornings with you. Jose says, I have the 4 large tanks, 2 with gravel, 2 with white fine sand. The pre-filter Aquarium Co-op traps the sand, and with the Python, rare times I used to put it in the sand. Okay, so he says his traps the sand, the coarser sponge. See you, Jesse, too. Appreciate you. Prodigal says, I'll weigh in here. Sand is the devil's spawn, and I like eggnog. I like eggnog, too, and I like ice cream. But the sand is the superior substrate. Thank you for us. I appreciate Joe coming. I drain into my sump pump. Okay, whip. Diddy says, had fun, but I got to get busy on Foxy's wedding stuff. Okay. Appreciate you. You're the best. We'll see you next Saturday. You know how it goes. And don't forget to watch my video when I get it sent out about this Hygger dual sponge filter. Of course, the product link and my affiliate link. If you do want to buy ones in there, help the channel a little bit. So talk to you later. Appreciate you. You're the best. We'll see you next time. The other 2 I have, gravel. Love them both. Yeah, gravel's cool. I used that too for years. But it is more maintenance when you have gravel because it's harder to clean. You have to get every inch of it with the dang Python. It's a pain in the butt. P-Tag, Lowe's. See you guys.